All right, guys, hold on. Let me make sure I've got my sound working here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna start the timer right after I confirm that you guys can actually hear me because I do have mic problems. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I have confirmed that my mic is working. All right. So if you're watching the replay, welcome. If you end up watching this live, also welcome. Remember, the details on how to get into the October Pint giveaway is in the pinned comment. If you are watching the replay, you are also eligible if you follow the instructions on that. All right. So that was quite an interesting first half, I must say. I am pleased, but I'm also slightly frustrated because I do feel like we should at least be up by a goal. So a couple of things that I wanted to get into here, and let me go ahead and look at what time it is here real quick. Okay, it is 10:52. I'll make sure to be off of here by roughly 11 my time. So we'll make this under 10 minutes, or at least I'm going to try to. So going into the game, Gillingham. First of all, shout out to Gareth Ainsworth. I think he's one of the better guys in football. I think he's good for football. Other than that kind of chaotic stint at QPR, he's been an asset pretty much everywhere he's been. So I know he had heart surgery. I don't know what type of heart surgery he had or what exactly was going on, but I know he had heart surgery. So shout out to Gareth Ainsworth. I know he's not on the sideline today, but which is unfortunate because he is one of my favorite people in football. So hopefully he gets better soon and we see him on the sideline, as he's definitely one of the guys I always root for. But going into the game, I didn't know how this matchup would go because Gillingham is by all numbers that you read, they're basically a top three defense, and you could make an argument that they are the best defense in the league. Depending on what metrics you want to go off of, top three, I would say, at least in most people's book. But they don't mind giving the other team possession. And in fact, there's been some games where we have more accurate passes at halftime than they have the entire game. So I thought that was quite an interesting stat, too. And I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know how this was going to go, especially with kind of the caretaker type manager. I didn't know if he would switch anything up or not. So we're getting your typical Gareth Ainsworth team, but we're having a different manager kind of take the realm here. And I see some people joining. Make sure you read the pinned comment if you're interested in entering the contest. So about the actual game here, I'll rant on for about another 5 minutes or so. Around the 16th minute, Lavelle made this cheeky little back pass to the goalkeeper. And if you didn't see it, I don't know if you want to call it luck or if you want to call it a nice pass, but either way, as someone who played goalkeeper for roughly 20 years, that was right in the bread box and right where you'd want it to be. But it could have went very wrong very quickly if it wasn't such a good back pass. Again, I don't know if you want to attribute that a little bit to luck or not, but it was something. And then Kabia getting the yellow and then eventually drawing a red card. But Kabia is an interesting asset for us. And I was thinking while he causes a lot of chaos, especially because of his speed. And I started thinking, I'm like, who does this guy remind me of? And he reminds me, I don't know if you guys are familiar with a player for Bristol City named Sinclair Armstrong. He's an Irish forward. He's, I think he was at QPR and then Shamrock. I believe Shamrock maybe before that, or Shelburne, something like that. But he's an insanely quick player who causes absolute chaos. He's a lot like Kabia. He's I don't want to say unguardable when it comes to pure speed, but he's someone you don't want to see in front of you, or else he's going to blow right by you. He uses his speed to cause just uh, I don't know how else to say it other than just chaos. But and then this is maybe harsh to say, and this might get some disagreements, but I believe I believe Kabia has better finishing than Sinclair Armstrong, but I believe he has the same issue as Sinclair Armstrong, where he's so disruptive, but he should be connecting a lot more than what he does. And again, I know that's harsh because I believe he's a team leading scorer, but he could easily have double that amount if he just connected on even half of his chances, I think. So, he just reminds me a little bit of Sinclair Armstrong, although I do think Kabia is a little more better in terms of finishing. But he's just one of those athletes that if he can just get that extra little oomph, when in the final third, he'll be an absolute unstoppable beast, especially in League Two. So that's pretty much the breakdown of the first half and what I've seen. It's been a interesting game so far. Now, in terms of changes, if you're watching this, what do you think? What changes do you think we should be making around this? I'm assuming we're probably going to make some changes around the 60th, 70th minute. It's typical RTL fashion. But if you're watching this live, tell me what changes you would make. I'm going to give you a couple that I would make. So I would put Danny Rose in. I would actually hold on one second because I believe we only have, if I'm not mistaken, we only have one defender on the bench. Yeah, Tyrell Warren. So I'm thinking we put Danny Rose in. I'm thinking we see an appearance from Van Thorsen and Sunsa Bell because, I mean, we have an advantage right now. And I believe, although we've had our chances, these chances have not necessarily connected. So could we connect on a couple? Sure, obviously. But, fair play to the guys up front, but I think, they didn't connect. So it's time to make some changes and see if the bench can connect. Now, in terms of, I know I've seen a lot online of people wanting to make a change in the back line, but I don't think we should, and it's not because of anything other than just our depth right now. We only have one defender on the bench, Tyrell Warren, and I think he deserves a rest. I mean, why not have him fresh this upcoming game and leave him on the bench, especially in in an advantage? I think we should just go for it. I mean, make all the offensive changes that we need, and yeah, if there's any player I've been disappointed in so far, it's obviously Amalazor. I would like to have seen him a little bit more from him. Um, I know him. It looks like he has a low score on this rating, but I thought he had a pretty clean save there at the early in the game. So that's about all I got. I think I might be running out of time here. Yep, I've got about another minute roughly left that I wanted to make this. So everybody who's at the game, have a safe trip home, and hopefully we can get 3 points. And if you're watching the replay of this, let me know how the crowd was and how the atmosphere was today. And let's go Mariners.